She's ignoring your texts, canceling plans at the last minute, sending you just enough attention to keep you hooked, but never enough to make you feel certain. And let's be real, it's maddening. It's like a mental game designed to keep you spinning your wheels, questioning everything. You catch yourself overthinking. Did I do something wrong? Should I try harder? Is she even interested, or am I wasting my time? But let me stop you right there, because what you're experiencing isn't a random string of events. It's not an accident. Whether consciously or not, she's engaging in a tactic, a psychological power move designed to shift control in her favor. You see, when someone plays hard to get, they're attempting to manipulate the dynamic, turning your desire into their leverage. And here's the kicker. The more you chase, the more power you hand over to them. Sound familiar? Of course it does. This isn't just about one person. It's a pattern we've all seen or experienced. And most people fall into the trap. They keep running, chasing, and trying harder to win approval, all while their self-worth takes hit after hit. But here's the truth they don't want you to know. You don't have to play this game. In fact, the most powerful response isn't to play at all. The secret lies in reclaiming your power, not through anger, not through pettiness, but through calm, calculated confidence rooted in principles far stronger than any manipulation. Welcome back to Stoic Blessing, the place where timeless wisdom meets unshakable power. If you're new here, get ready to unlock the mindset that will make you untouchable. And if you've been with us for a while, you already know this isn't about gimmicks or games. This is about becoming the kind of person who can't be shaken, no matter what tactics are thrown your way. Today, we're diving into a subject that's as frustrating as it is common. What to do when she's playing hard to get. This video isn't about shallow tricks or cheap revenge. No. What I'm about to share with you is a combination of ancient Stoic wisdom and cutting-edge dark psychology, a fusion of mental frameworks that will allow you to rise above the chaos and reclaim control without ever needing to stoop to her level. By the end of this video, you won't just understand what's happening. You'll have the tools to flip the script entirely, making her second-guess everything while you walk away stronger and more self-assured than ever. But before we dive in, let's make one thing clear. This is about you, your power, your mindset, your ability to rise above the noise and distractions of the world. So let's set the tone right now. I want you to take a moment and type this in the comments. Power comes from within. Why? Because it's not just a phrase, it's a truth. Your strength, your worth, your control, it all starts within. And I want to see just how many of you are ready to claim that power today. While you're at it, don't forget to hit that like button. It may seem small, but it's a big step toward spreading this message. Every like helps this content reach someone else who might be stuck in the same frustrating situation. And trust me, they need this just as much as you do. Now let me ask you something. What if I told you that you're not powerless in this dynamic? That there's a way to not only neutralize her tactics, but to actually turn them in your favor? What if I told you that by shifting your mindset, you could transform the frustration you're feeling into a weapon of self-mastery? You see, this isn't just about outsmarting someone. It's about stepping into the role you were meant to play, not as the chaser, not as the reactor, but as the one who sets the tone and controls the narrative. And the best part, you don't have to become someone you're not. You don't have to play her game. You just have to stop letting her play you. Intrigued? Good. You should be, because what I'm about to teach you isn't just a strategy. It's a mindset shift that will change the way you approach every relationship, every interaction, and every power dynamic in your life. So, get comfortable, eliminate distractions, and let's focus, because today we're going deep. By the end of this video, you won't just walk away with tools, you'll walk away with a completely new perspective. Let's get into it. Before we dive into the tactics, let's talk about the foundation. If you want to flip the script and reclaim control, The first thing you need to understand is this. Detachment is your greatest weapon. And no, I'm not talking about cold indifference or pretending you don't care. Detachment in its true form is about mastering your emotions and refusing to let external events, like her games, dictate your internal peace. You see, the Stoics believed that freedom isn't about what happens to you, it's about how you respond to it. They taught that the only thing truly within your control is your mind, your thoughts, your reactions, your attitude. Everything else? It's external. It's noise. And if you allow yourself to be consumed by the noise, you give away the most powerful thing you own, your ability to choose your response. Let's break it down. When someone plays hard to get, what's their goal? It's to pull you into a reactive state, to make you chase, overthink, and ultimately lose your composure. Why? Because as long as you're reacting, they're controlling the dynamic. But here's where the power of detachment comes in. When you adopt the Stoic frame, you stop reacting. You stop chasing. You recognize that her actions, her games, and even her attention, or lack of it, have no bearing on your value. And that's where the shift happens. When you detach emotionally, you become untouchable. You stop sending those double texts. You stop waiting by your phone. You stop trying to figure out what she's thinking or feeling, because at the end of the day, that's not your job. Your job is to focus on you, your growth, your goals, your peace. This is the essence of the Stoic frame, to rise above the external chaos and remain grounded in your own internal power. But let's not stop there. Detachment isn't just a shield, it's also a tool. In dark psychology, detachment is often referred to as emotional scarcity. When you stop reacting, when you stop feeding into her games, you create a void. And guess what? People are drawn to voids. When someone suddenly stops giving the attention they once did, it sparks curiosity. It makes the other person wonder, why aren't they chasing anymore? Did I lose my grip on them? That's the paradox of power. The moment you stop chasing is the moment you become the one being chased. And this isn't manipulation. It's simply the natural result of shifting your energy. When you focus on yourself, when you reclaim your time, your effort, your emotional bandwidth, you naturally exude confidence and self-respect. And trust me, confidence and self-respect are magnetic. Now, I know what you're thinking. But what if she moves on? What if she doesn't care? And that's where Stoic detachment reaches its highest form. The Stoics believed in embracing reality exactly as it is. If she moves on, let her. If she doesn't care, that's her loss. Your worth isn't tied to her attention or her approval. Your worth is inherent. It's yours to own, to cultivate, to protect. And when you embody that truth, no one, not her, not anyone, can take it away from you. So here's your first takeaway. Detach. Stop reacting. Stop chasing. When she plays hard to get, let her. But don't play along. Instead, step back. Reclaim your time. Reclaim your focus. Because the more you invest in yourself, the less you'll feel the need to invest in someone who's playing games. And while you're taking this all in, I want to hear from you. Drop this in the comments. I choose my peace over her games. Let's make this a mantra, a reminder that your inner calm is worth more than any external validation. And hey, if you're feeling this message, make sure to hit that like button and share it with someone who needs to hear it. This isn't just advice, it's a movement. All right, now that you understand the power of detachment, let's dive deeper. Next, we'll break down the real psychology behind her games and why playing hard to get isn't about you. It's about control. Ready? Let's keep going. All right, now that we've set the foundation with the Stoic frame and the power of detachment, let's address the elephant in the room. Why does she play hard to get in the first place? What's the psychology behind this behavior, and what does it really mean for you? First, let's be clear. This isn't about her being uninterested. In most cases, playing hard to get is a deliberate or subconscious tactic. It's a way to gain control in the dynamic by keeping you guessing and chasing. It's rooted in psychology, specifically the principle of scarcity. Think about it. What's more appealing, something you can have any time, or something that feels exclusive, rare, even unattainable? When she creates this illusion of scarcity, she's tapping into one of the deepest drives of human behavior, the fear of loss. By being unpredictable, sometimes showing interest, other times pulling away, she keeps you on edge. And that emotional roller coaster, it's addictive. You start seeking validation from her, thinking, if I just try harder, maybe I can win her over. But here's the truth. She's not pulling away because of anything you've done. She's doing it because it shifts the power dynamic. It makes you pursue her, and in doing so, she positions herself as the prize. Now let's take a step back and look at this through a Stoic lens. If someone's primary strategy is to keep you chasing, what does that say about their intentions? Stoic philosophy teaches us to value authenticity and substance over appearances. Playing hard to get is a shallow game. It's a strategy for someone who values control over connection, ego over genuine interest. And the moment you recognize this, you start to see the game for what it really is: a distraction, a test of your emotional discipline. But here's where dark psychology comes into play. When someone uses tactics like this, they're banking on your predictability. They expect you to react, to chase, to give them the validation they're fishing for. And this is where you have the opportunity to flip the script. Instead of reacting the way they expect, you respond with calm detachment. You stop feeding the game. Because when you stop reacting, the game falls apart. And more importantly, you show them something rare, that your worth isn't tied to their approval. Let's break this down even further. Playing hard to get often stems from insecurity. Whether she realizes it or not, it's a way of testing her own value by seeing how much effort you're willing to put in. The more you chase, the more validation she feels. But here's the catch. The moment you stop chasing, the dynamic changes. Suddenly she's forced to confront the reality that she's not as in control as she thought. And that's when you take back the upper hand, not through manipulation, but by simply stepping back and focusing on your own value. Here's what I want you to remember. Games like this only work if you allow them to. When someone plays hard to get, it's not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their need for control. And the more you focus on yourself, on building your confidence, your goals, your inner peace, the less those games will affect you. So here's your challenge. The next time you sense someone playing hard to get, don't fall into the trap of overthinking or chasing. Instead, pause. Take a step back. Ask yourself, am I reacting or am I responding with intention? Because when you respond with intention, you reclaim your power. And while you're at it, let's make this a moment of clarity. Drop this in the comments. I choose intention over reaction. Let's remind ourselves and each other that we have the power to stay grounded no matter what games are thrown our way. And of course, if you're finding value in this, make sure to hit that like button. It helps us spread this message to others who need to hear it. Because this isn't just about one situation. This is about creating a mindset that serves you for life. All right, now that you understand the psychology behind the game, let's take it a step further. In the next section, we're going to talk about how to reclaim your value and become the one who's pursued. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss this. Let's keep going. Now that you understand the game and the psychology behind it, it's time to shift the focus. Because the truth is, you were never meant to be the one chasing. You were meant to be the one pursued. But here's the key. Becoming the one who's pursued doesn't come from tricks or tactics. It comes from embodying your true value, a value that doesn't waver based on someone else's attention. Let's start with a simple yet powerful truth. People chase what they perceive as valuable. And value isn't something you beg for, it's something you exude. It's in the way you carry yourself, the way you set boundaries, and the way you prioritize your own growth over someone else's approval. But here's the problem. When you're caught up in chasing someone who's playing hard to get, you unintentionally devalue yourself. Every time you overextend, every time you send that extra text, every time you try to prove your worth, you're sending the message that their attention is more important than your self-respect. So how do you shift the dynamic? How do you go from the one chasing to the one being chased? The answer lies in what the Stoics call eudaimonia, or flourishing. This is about focusing on your own growth, mentally, physically, emotionally, and becoming the best version of yourself. When you're so busy building your empire, chasing your goals, and living your life to the fullest, you don't have time to chase anyone. And that, my friend, is magnetic. Here's where dark psychology adds an interesting layer. When you stop chasing and start focusing on yourself, you create a sense of mystery. You signal that your time and energy are exclusive, and people are naturally drawn to what feels scarce and valuable. It's not about being arrogant or aloof. It's about recognizing that your attention is a privilege, not a given. And when you carry yourself with that kind of confidence, the dynamic shifts. Suddenly, you're not the one waiting for her reply. She's the one wondering why you've gone quiet. But let's be clear, this isn't about playing games or pretending to be something you're not. It's about genuinely investing in yourself. Because when you truly value yourself, others can't help but notice. You become someone who's not just attractive, but intriguing, someone worth pursuing. Let me give you a practical example. Think about the most captivating people you know. Are they constantly chasing others for attention, or are they too busy living their lives, pursuing their passions, and radiating confidence? That's the energy you want to embody, not because you're trying to impress anyone, but because you're committed to your own growth and fulfillment. And when you live that way, you naturally attract people who want to be a part of your world. So here's your next step. Stop chasing her validation and start chasing your potential. Set goals that inspire you. Build habits that strengthen you. Surround yourself with people who uplift you. The more you focus on yourself, the less power anyone else's games will have over you, and the more you'll naturally become the one who's pursued. I want you to take a moment and affirm this. Drop this in the comments. I am the prize. Say it, type it, own it. Because the moment you start believing that, everything changes. Your energy changes, the way people perceive you changes, and most importantly, the way you perceive yourself changes. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit that like button. This message needs to reach others who are stuck in the same cycle, chasing people who don't see their worth. Let's help them break free and reclaim their power. All right, now that you're stepping into your true value, let's take it even further. In the next section, we're diving into one of the most powerful tools you have in your arsenal, non-reaction. Trust me, this is where the real transformation happens. Let's keep going. All right, let's talk about one of the most underrated yet powerful tools you have at your disposal, non-reaction. This is where the real transformation begins. Because if someone is playing games to get a reaction from you, the most powerful thing you can do is refuse to give them what they're looking for. Non-reaction isn't just about silence. It's about control, composure, and sending a clear message. You don't dictate my emotions. Think about it. When she's playing hard to get, what's her goal? It's to make you react, to make you chase, to pull you into a game where you're constantly trying to win her approval. But what happens when you stop reacting? When you don't double text? When you don't overanalyze every move she makes? Suddenly the dynamic shifts. Because the game only works if you play along. And when you refuse to play, you take away her power. This principle is deeply rooted in Stoicism. The Stoics believed that true strength comes from mastering your emotions and remaining steady in the face of external chaos. They understood that no one can truly affect you unless you allow it. And here's the beauty of non-reaction. It's not just about ignoring her games, it's about showing that your inner peace is untouchable. When you practice non-reaction, you're telling the world, I am in control of myself and no one else has the power to shake me. But let's take it a step further. In dark psychology, non-reaction is a tactic called emotional neutrality. By staying calm and composed, you create a void. And here's the thing about voids. They make people uncomfortable. When someone expects a reaction and doesn't get one, it forces them to reevaluate. They start wondering, why isn't he reacting? Did I lose my influence over him? What is he thinking? This curiosity, this uncertainty works in your favor. It shifts the focus from you chasing her to her questioning herself. Now, I'm not saying you should ignore her or play some cold, detached role just for the sake of it. Non-reaction isn't about pretending not to care. It's about genuinely rising above the need to react. It's about showing that you're too focused on your own goals, your own growth, to waste energy on petty games. And when you live this way, people notice. She'll notice. Let me give you an example. Imagine she sends a text that's obviously designed to provoke you. Maybe she cancels plans at the last minute or says something that feels dismissive. The old you might have fired off a frustrated reply or tried to fix things, but the new you pause, you take a breath, and instead of reacting, you move on with your day. Not out of spite, but because you know your time and energy are too valuable to waste on drama. And here's the powerful part. When you practice non-reaction consistently, you become unpredictable. She can't control you because she doesn't know how you'll respond or if you'll respond at all. And in that unpredictability lies your power. You're no longer the one chasing, the one reacting. You're the one who sets the tone. But let me warn you, this isn't always easy. Non-reaction takes discipline. It takes self-awareness. You have to be willing to let go of the need to prove yourself or seek validation. But the payoff? It's worth it. Because when you master non-reaction, you don't just reclaim your power, you elevate yourself to a level where petty games can't touch you. So here's your challenge. The next time she tries to provoke a reaction, don't give her one. Pause, reflect, and ask yourself, is this worth my energy? 9 times out of 10, the answer will be no, and that's when you'll realize just how powerful you've become. Let's make this a commitment. Drop this in the comments. I control my emotions, not her actions. Say it, type it, own it. Because this mindset is the foundation of true power and self-respect. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit that like button. Let's spread this message to others who need to hear it. Non-reaction isn't just a tactic, it's a lifestyle, one that will serve you far beyond this situation. All right, now that you understand the silent power of non-reaction, it's time to take things to the next level. In the next section, we're going to talk about the ultimate form of revenge, self-mastery. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. Let's keep going. Now that you've harnessed the power of non-reaction, it's time to talk about the ultimate form of revenge, self-mastery. And let me be clear, this isn't about petty games or trying to one-up her. This is about becoming so focused on your own growth, your own purpose, that her games don't just lose their effect, they become completely irrelevant. Let's start with a simple truth. The best revenge is not proving her wrong. It's proving yourself right. It's becoming the kind of person who doesn't need validation from anyone because you're so deeply rooted in your own value. The moment you stop looking outward for approval and start looking inward for purpose, everything changes. You stop chasing people who don't appreciate you, and you start attracting people who align with your energy. This idea of self-mastery is central to Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said it best. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This is the essence of self-mastery. It's about taking full ownership of your thoughts, your actions, and your growth. And when you do this, you become unstoppable, not because you're trying to impress anyone, but because you're living in alignment with your own potential. So how do you start mastering yourself? First, you need to identify what truly matters to you. What are your goals, your values, your passions? When you have clarity about what you want in life, you naturally stop wasting energy on things and people that don't align with that vision. Instead of chasing someone who's playing hard to get, you channel that energy into building the life you want. You invest in yourself. You become your own greatest asset. This brings us to an important concept in dark psychology, the law of focus. Whatever you give your attention to grows stronger. When you focus on someone else, especially someone who's playing games, you give them power over you. But when you focus on yourself, on your growth, your fitness, your finances, your mindset, you become a force to be reckoned with. People notice, she'll notice, because there's nothing more magnetic than someone who's completely in control of their own life. Let me give you a practical example. Imagine you've been caught up chasing her attention for weeks. You're checking your phone constantly, wondering when or if she'll reply. Now flip the script. Instead of sitting around waiting, you hit the gym. You pick up that hobby you've been putting off. You work on your career, your side hustle, your mental health. And here's what happens. The more you focus on yourself, the more her absence stops mattering. And the more her absence stops mattering, the more intriguing you become. It's not a game, it's the natural result of shifting your energy. And here's the beauty of self-mastery. It's not about her. It's not about proving anything to anyone. It's about becoming the best version of yourself for you. Because at the end of the day, you're the one who has to live with yourself. And when you commit to your own growth, you'll find that the people who belong in your life will naturally gravitate toward you. The ones who play games, they'll fade into the background where they belong. So here's your challenge. Take all that energy you've been giving to her and redirect it into yourself. Set one goal today, something that excites you, something that challenges you, and take the first step toward it. It doesn't have to be big, it just has to be yours, because every step you take toward mastering yourself is a step away from her games. And let's make this a declaration. Drop this in the comments. I invest in myself, not her games. Say it, type it, own it. Because when you commit to mastering yourself, you stop needing anyone else's approval. You become your own source of validation. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit that like button. Let's help more people step into their power and break free from these cycles. Because self-mastery isn't just about revenge, it's about transformation. All right, now that you understand the power of self-mastery, it's time to take it up another level. In the next section, we'll talk about how to subtly flip the script and reclaim control without ever lifting a finger. Let's keep going. All right, now that you're rooted in detachment, non-reaction, and self-mastery, it's time to talk about flipping the script. This isn't about manipulation. It's about subtly reclaiming control of the dynamic in a way that feels effortless. It's about shifting the focus so that you're no longer chasing her. She's drawn to you. Here's the secret. Flipping the script doesn't require grand gestures or dramatic actions. In fact, the less you do, the more powerful the shift. Why? Because when you stop chasing, you change the energy of the interaction. She's expecting you to seek her approval, to keep trying harder, to keep giving her power. But when you quietly pull back and redirect your focus to yourself, it creates a void. And people are naturally drawn to fill voids. It's human nature. This concept is deeply tied to both Stoicism and dark psychology. The Stoics taught that power comes from within. They believed in living with purpose, not reacting to the whims of others. When you embody this mindset, you exude calm confidence, an energy that's irresistible to those around you. In dark psychology, this is known as the scarcity principle. When something becomes less available, its perceived value increases. By subtly withdrawing your attention, you create scarcity. And scarcity creates desire. So how do you do this? Let's break it down. The first step is to stop over-investing. If she's not texting you back, don't double text. If she cancels plans, don't rush to reschedule. Instead, take a step back. Match her energy, or even better, focus on elevating your own. When she realizes that you're no longer trying so hard, she'll start to wonder what changed. And that curiosity, that's the moment the script begins to flip. But don't stop there. The second step is to become a little less predictable. If you've been responding immediately to her messages, start taking your time. Not out of pettiness, but because you're genuinely busy living your life. If you've been saying yes to every plan she proposes, start setting boundaries. Let her see that your time is valuable, because the truth is, it is. And when you treat it as such, she'll start treating it that way too. Here's where it gets interesting. By pulling back, you're forcing her to take a closer look at her own behavior. Suddenly, the dynamic shifts. She's no longer the one in control. Instead, she's the one wondering why you're not reacting, why you're not chasing, why you seem so calm and composed. And that shift in perception is incredibly powerful. It makes her see you in a different light, not as someone who's trying to win her over, but as someone who's already whole, already complete, already valuable. But let's be clear, flipping the script isn't about playing games or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about showing that you value yourself enough to not settle for breadcrumbs. It's about setting the tone for how you expect to be treated. And when you carry yourself with that kind of confidence, the right people will respect it. The wrong people? They'll fall away. And trust me, that's a blessing. Let me give you a practical example. Imagine she sends a vague text like, "Maybe we can hang out sometime." The old you might have jumped on the opportunity saying, "How about tomorrow or the day after?" But the new you respond calmly and confidently, "Let me know when you're free and we'll see if it works." That one subtle shift, putting the ball in her court, changes everything. It shows that you're not desperate for her time. You're open to it, sure, but only if it aligns with your own priorities. And here's the beautiful part. When you flip the script, you're not just changing the dynamic, you're changing yourself. You're stepping into a version of you that doesn't need validation or approval to feel whole. And that version of you? That's someone worth pursuing. Let's make this a declaration. Drop this in the comments. I lead, she follows. Say it, type it, own it. Because when you stop chasing and start leading, you don't just flip the script, you rewrite it entirely. And while you're here, don't forget to hit that like button. It's a small action, but it helps spread this message to others who need to hear it. Flipping the script isn't just about one relationship. It's about reclaiming control in every aspect of your life. All right, now that you know how to subtly flip the script, it's time to take things up a notch. In the next section, we'll talk about the art of controlled mystery and how to use it to keep her attention without saying a word. Let's keep going. Now that you've learned how to subtly flip the script, let's dive into one of the most powerful tools you can use, controlled mystery. This isn't about playing games or being deceptive. It's about intentionally creating intrigue. It's about showing just enough of yourself to spark curiosity while keeping the deeper parts of your life reserved for those who truly earn access to them. Think about it. What draws people in more? Something they can completely figure out in an instant, or something that keeps them wondering? Mystery is magnetic. It creates an emotional pull that makes people want to know more. And when used correctly, controlled mystery is one of the most effective ways to keep someone's attention without chasing or over-investing. This idea isn't new. Even the Stoics understood the value of saying less and letting actions speak louder than words. Epictetus once said, "Keep silence for the most part, and speak only when you must." This principle applies to more than just words. It's about how much of yourself you reveal. The more selective you are with what you share, the more powerful your presence becomes. Now, Let's add a layer of dark psychology. Controlled mystery works because it creates what's known as emotional tension. When someone doesn't know exactly where they stand with you, it triggers a natural desire to seek clarity. They become more curious, more invested, and more willing to chase that clarity. But here's the catch. You don't give it to them all at once. You let the mystery work in your favor, subtly drawing them in while maintaining your composure. So how do you create controlled mystery in your interactions? Start with this. Share less. If she asks about your plans, don't overshare every detail. Instead of saying, "I'm going to the gym," then grabbing lunch with friends, then working on a project, keep it simple. "I've got a busy day ahead." That one line conveys value. It shows you're living a full, active life, without giving away everything. It leaves room for her to wonder, to imagine, to fill in the gaps. Another way to cultivate mystery is through your social media. Don't post everything you do. Focus on quality over quantity. Instead of documenting your entire day, share occasional highlights that reflect the best parts of your life, your achievements, your adventures, your passions. Let her, and others, see that you're someone who values privacy and purpose over attention-seeking. Here's an example of how this plays out in a conversation. Imagine she asks, "What have you been up to?" Instead of listing everything, you say, "Just working on a few exciting projects." That's it. No details, no explanations. And here's what happens. Her curiosity spikes. She starts wondering, what projects? What's he working on? Why didn't he tell me more? That subtle intrigue shifts the dynamic in your favor. But let me make one thing clear. Controlled mystery isn't about being cold or distant. It's about being intentional with your energy. It's about showing that not everyone gets full access to your life, and that's not because you're playing hard to get. It's because you respect yourself enough to reserve your time and attention for people who truly earn it. And here's where the magic happens. When you cultivate mystery, you don't just attract her attention, you command it. Because in a world where everyone overshares and seeks constant validation, being the one who's calm, composed, and a little mysterious is a rare and powerful quality. It sets you apart. It makes you unforgettable. So here's your challenge. The next time you're in a conversation, practice saying less. Don't overshare. Don't fill every silence. Instead, focus on being present and letting her wonder. Trust me, the less you say, the more powerful your presence becomes. And let's turn this into a mantra. Drop this in the comments. I create mystery, not confusion. Say it, type it, own it. Because mystery, when done right, isn't about creating distance. It's about drawing people closer in a way that feels natural and effortless. And don't forget to hit that like button. It's a small action, but it helps this message reach others who need to hear it. Controlled mystery isn't just about relationships. It's a mindset that can elevate every area of your life. All right, now that you understand the art of controlled mystery, it's time to bring everything together. In the next section, we'll focus on empowered action, how to live fully on your terms and become truly unstoppable. Let's keep going. Now that you've mastered the principles of detachment, non-reaction, self-mastery, and controlled mystery, it's time to bring it all together. Because here's the ultimate truth. None of this works unless you're living your life on your terms. Empowered action isn't just about reacting to her less. It's about building a life so fulfilling, so aligned with your purpose, that you become untouchable. Let's start with a question. What are you chasing right now? Is it her attention, her approval, her affection? If the answer is yes, then it's time to pause and ask yourself why. Because the moment you place someone else's validation above your own purpose, you hand them power over your life. Empowered action is about flipping that script. It's about shifting your focus away from seeking validation and toward creating a life that inspires you. The Stoics were masters of this mindset. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." In other words, stop thinking about what you need to do to impress someone else and start taking action to become the best version of yourself. When you live with purpose, when your actions are aligned with your goals, you stop needing anyone else's approval. You become your own source of validation. So what does living on your terms actually look like? It starts with setting clear priorities. What are your goals? What's important to you? When you're clear on what matters, you naturally stop wasting energy on things or people that don't align with that vision. You start saying no to distractions and yes to opportunities that help you grow. And when you live this way, you become magnetic. Not because you're chasing anyone, but because you're chasing your own potential. Let's add a layer of dark psychology here. Empowered action works because it creates emotional independence. When you're no longer relying on someone else to make you feel whole, you shift the dynamic. You stop reacting to her actions because your focus isn't on her, it's on you. And that independence? It's incredibly attractive. It signals strength, confidence, and purpose. It shows that you're not just surviving, you're thriving. But let's get practical. What does empowered action look like in your daily life? Start with small, intentional steps. Wake up earlier and create a morning routine that sets the tone for your day. Hit the gym and take care of your physical health. Invest in your skills and career. Spend time with people who inspire and uplift you. Every action you take that aligns with your goals strengthens your foundation, making you more grounded, more confident, and more unshakable. Now let's talk about relationships. Living on your terms doesn't mean you don't care about others. It means you're selective about who gets access to your energy. When you're living with purpose, you naturally set higher standards for yourself and the people in your life. You stop tolerating games, manipulation, or half-hearted efforts. And the right people, they'll rise to meet those standards. The wrong ones, they'll fall away. Here's a powerful truth to remember. When you prioritize your growth, you stop attracting people who play games, and you start attracting people who respect your boundaries, your vision, and your value. Because empowered action isn't just about what you do, it's about who you become. And when you become someone who lives fully on their terms, you don't have to chase anyone. They'll come to you. So here's your challenge. Identify one area of your life where you've been holding back. Maybe it's your fitness, your career, your relationships, or even your mindset. Take one action today, just one, that moves you closer to the life you want. It doesn't have to be big, it just has to be intentional, because every step you take toward your goals is a step away from the games, the drama, and the distractions. And let's make this a commitment. Drop this in the comments. I live on my terms. Say it, type it, own it. Because when you declare it, when you live it, you become unstoppable. And while you're here, hit that like button. Let's spread this message to others who are ready to reclaim their power and start living fully. Because empowered action isn't just about relationships, it's about creating a life you're proud of. All right, now that you understand the power of living on your terms, it's time to bring everything together. In the final section, we'll wrap up with a powerful reminder of what you've learned and how to carry this mindset into every part of your life. Let's keep going. All right, we've reached the end of this journey, and if you've made it this far, congratulations, you're already ahead of the game. Today, you've learned how to detach, how to master the art of non-reaction, how to focus on your self-mastery, how to create controlled mystery, and most importantly, how to live fully on your terms. But here's the thing, knowledge alone isn't enough. What matters now is action. Because let's face it, too many people will hear this message and go right back to the same patterns. They'll keep chasing, keep overthinking, and keep giving their power away to people who don't deserve it. But you're different. You're here because you're ready to take control of your life, not just in this situation, but in every area. And that starts today with the decisions you make right now. Let's recap what we've covered. When she's playing hard to get, you now know the key isn't to react, it's to detach. You understand the power of stepping back and letting her games fall apart. You've learned how to flip the script, how to create intrigue through controlled mystery, and how to reclaim your time and energy by focusing on your own self-mastery. These aren't just tactics, they're principles that will serve you for life. They'll help you become the kind of person who doesn't just survive in relationships, but thrives in every aspect of your life. But here's the most important lesson of all. Your power comes from within. It's not tied to her attention, her approval, or her games. It's tied to your mindset, your actions, and your ability to stay grounded no matter what. And when you embody that truth, when you live it every single day, you don't just reclaim control, you become unstoppable. So here's your final challenge. Commit to this mindset. Start small. Take one principle from this video and apply it to your life today. Whether it's practicing non-reaction, focusing on your goals, or simply taking back your time, do something that moves you closer to the person you want to become. Because every small action builds momentum, and momentum creates transformation. And let's make this a collective declaration. Drop this in the comments. My power comes from within. Let's flood this video with that energy. Let's remind ourselves and each other that we don't need to chase anyone to feel whole. Because when you live with that kind of confidence, you attract people and opportunities that align with your true value. And while you're here, hit that like button. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Stoic Blessing and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment of growth. This is more than just a channel, it's a movement, a space for people who are ready to reclaim their power and live with purpose. Remember, this isn't the end, it's just the beginning. You have the tools, you have the mindset. Now it's time to take action, so go out there, live boldly, live fully, and live on your terms. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay strong.